Hey Hotties, how you healing? How you feeling? I'm Zenzi, and this is Hottie Seal. So today I'm really raw dogging this, so to speak. I want to take a moment to just be really vulnerable and honest with anyone who needs to hear it, because part of the reason that I created this was to help people through my own experience, and particularly some of these people being women, as I am one. So it wouldn't be authentic of me to not share when I'm going through something, because I know that even if I feel alone, that I'm not alone in this experience, and through sharing my own realizations and discoveries, I might be able to help someone else through a difficult time. Today, my sweatshirt says intense feelings, because that's sort of what I'm having. I'm having a lot of intense feelings, and my incense clearly knows that because it's blowing directly in my face, and I'm really cleansing and purging a lot. I had a very intense night because I found out something, which I'll get into, that the theme of it honestly is representative of something so much deeper. So I guess this video is for all the girlies who are brokenhearted due to daddy issues. So that's why I'm wearing my daddy hat, because sometimes you just gotta be your own daddy, especially if you don't really have one. Dark humor. So I'd like to preface by saying that my dad is not dead. We just don't really have a relationship, and that's due to his own personal struggles and traumas, and I work on forgiving him and accepting him as the human that he is, which is a flawed person like us all, and nobody is exempt from that. And that's something that I have to remember, but I also have to acknowledge the ways that his absence and the way that our relationship has unfolded has affected me, and the way that I choose to interact in romantic situations. So what I'm about to divulge isn't really about the boy. It's about the wounds and the trauma that I've carried that have manifested through this situation. So let's get into it. Before I dive too deep into the story, I'd like to start by saying that if you resonate with this at all, I want you to know that it's not your fault that you have a dad who couldn't love you the way that you deserved and created these wounds of abandonment that manifested in putting yourself in situations of being fearful of abandonment and rejection. But it is your responsibility to heal these things. And it's a daunting task, it's a painful task, but the other side of it is more beautiful than you can imagine. So I personally am closing out about almost a decade cycle of, probably longer, but in this particular situation, about a decade, almost, a little less, but the details aren't really important. The point is, throughout my life, the people I've chosen to admire romantically have never reciprocated. And that is a reflection of something deeper, that I subconsciously was accepting the love that I thought that I deserved, which clearly wasn't a lot. And even though I've been on this journey of self-love and discovery for a while now, I'm not a perfect person, and there were still some things that were blockages in my life that I needed to address, and I was finally given the opportunity to do that through holding on to this specific person. I was really just hindering myself from moving forward and highlighting the ways that I sabotaged myself. I don't blame him for anything at this point, because it was my decision to continue to hold on to a relationship that wasn't even a relationship. He never gave me any reason to think that I should wait around, but part of the journey for me was, I think, realizing that I was trying to convince myself that if I could get this guy to love me, that it would almost be fixing the fact that I didn't feel that love for my dad. And I can speculate that this is what a lot of women do with daddy issues. They think if they can prove to the object of their affection that they're worth loving, that it somehow will fix the wounds that their father gave to them. And it's not the case. I hate to break it to you, but it's not. I wish that it were that way, but honestly I don't, because though the truth can be painful, it's so necessary, and it allows you to pull back the curtain and really take an honest look at yourself. Oftentimes, many of us, men and women alike, live in a state of spiritual depression, which is basically a unwavering, persistent feeling of deep sadness and emptiness, which comes from a lack of really choosing to know and understand ourselves, because that can be deeply painful, because it requires us to look at our wounds and be honest with ourselves about what it is that's hindering us in life. And when we're unwilling to embrace the highest invitation that spiritual depression invites us to confront, we get stuck in this liminal space, and the discomfort of that in-between space becomes the pain that we tolerate. This is why people stay in relationships, behavioral patterns, jobs, etc., that do not serve them, because we just tolerate this pain and it becomes our norm. And this is all in an attempt to avoid the undoing that comes with deep surrender. So the thing that I want to tell the broken-hearted girl with daddy issues, because she is me and I am her and she might be you if you're watching this, is that you shouldn't be afraid to let go. Surrender. And surrender with compassionate curiosity to this spiritual depression. And remember that you're not broken. These are just growing pains. Growth can be painful. Change can be painful. But nothing's more painful than staying stuck somewhere you don't belong, accepting the love that you know you deserve more and better of. It's up to you. You get to decide. And as uncomfortable as it may feel to face the fact that you might be the reason that you're in this position and that no one else can save you or drag you out of it, at the other side of it is clarity. And at the other side of it is opportunities for happiness and peace that you can't even imagine, because you're stuck holding on to the pain that you just tolerate. These growing pains are limiting beliefs falling away. Pieces of you that you have created, that I have created, that don't serve me anymore. And they're breaking off. But just because they're breaking off doesn't mean that you're broken. You're not broken. Those broken pieces are falling away to expose the brightest parts of you so that they can shine through. When we think of change, we often get fearful, so try not to view it as change. Instead, view it as becoming. Becoming the version of yourself that you were always meant to be. The version of yourself that learned to love and be compassionate and feel worthy of living a beautiful life, just because we all are inherently deserving of that. And no lack of love from your designated dad or a man who couldn't see your worth is going to make you feel any better about that. It's your job to do it. It's your job to fix it. And through this, you will become the person that you are meant to be, allowing you to grow beyond these limiting beliefs, whether they were self-imposed or put on you by society or someone in your life. It's now your responsibility to let it go. I'm here to remind you that we are not the shallow pieces that we have adorned ourselves with. These are not the things that make us lovable and worthy. Let go of those limiting beliefs. I've talked about this before, but it's just really hitting home for me now. And the only thing that I can suggest that you do to be able to move past this and to really let go and move on and accept the love that you deserve and that I know you want is to surrender to the pain. Feel the pain. Don't be afraid of the pain. Do what you have to do to let that pain out. Scream, cry, punch a pillow, whatever it is that you need to do. Just don't lock it inside. Because when you lock things inside, you only create more situations that manifest into situations that force you to deal with the pain. And if you don't deal with it, you're stuck in a cycle of repetition. And I've also made this quote before, but the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Evolve or repeat. There is someone out there who is going to love you the way that you deserve to be loved. But until that happens, you have to love yourself. And if you can't love yourself, you can't expect anyone else to love you. And that's just the hard truth. But it's a beautiful truth because you should love yourself and you do deserve that love. Take care of yourselves, hotties. If you're new, don't forget to like and subscribe if you resonate with what I just talked about. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for your exchange and energy and for being here with me. Until next time, bye.